Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Thank you for joining me once again. And we just got some massive breaking news. A federal judge has rejected former White House Chief of Staff under Donald Trump, Mark Meadows' request to move his Fulton County case in Georgia up to federal court. Now, this is a very big deal for a number of reasons, which I'm going to talk about in a second, but this is terrible for Mark Meadows, and it's really, really bad for Donald Trump. So this is the order we just got from the judge moments ago. It's brand new, hot off the press, and in the first paragraph, the judge writes, "This matter appears before the court following defendant Mark R. Meadows' filing of a notice of removal. This order addresses a relatively narrow question. Has Meadows carried his burden of demonstrating that removal of the state of Georgia's criminal prosecution against him is proper under the federal officer removal statute?" Now, as you folks know, Mark Meadows was arguing that because he was a federal officer, because he was an executive, he has executive privilege, and, he was just acting under the color of his office, which, of course, are terrible arguments. And, he wanted to use that argument to move this up to federal court. And then the judge goes on to write saying, "Having considered the arguments and evidence, the court concludes that Meadows has not met his burden. Therefore, the court declines to assume jurisdiction over the state's prosecution of Mark Meadows or case against him." And in this filing by the judge, they directly address Mark Meadows' claim that he was acting under the color of his office, saying, "The court finds that the color of the office of the White House Chief of Staff does not include working with or working for the Trump campaign, except for simply coordinating the president's schedule, traveling with the president to his campaign events, and redirecting communications to the campaign. Thus, consistent with his testimony and the federal statutes and regulations, engaging in political activities exceeds the outer limits of the office of the White House Chief of Staff." So they're basically saying your argument's bad, right? Your argument's BS, you don't meet that standard. And of course it doesn't. Of course it doesn't, right? The Chief of Staff is not almighty. Not every single thing they do is under the color of their office, especially committing crimes. There is no job description that says, well, the White House Chief of Staff was just committing crimes, so, it should be dealt with in federal court. No, that's not how our system works. And then finally, in the conclusion, the judge kind of lays out what's going on here. They say, "For the foregoing reasons, the court declines to assume jurisdiction over the state's criminal prosecution of Meadows under Section 1455 and remands the case to Fulton County Superior Court. This court also directs that the clerk of court to terminate all pending motions and close the case. It's done. It's over. Mark Meadows is stuck in Georgia, whether he likes it or not." And that's a really bad thing for him. His only play to get this case dismissed against him was trying to get it moved to federal court so he can make the executive argument. But now it's done. He's done. He's stuck in Fulton County, Georgia. He's going to have his trial there. And now, as I said at the beginning of the video, you might be thinking, well, how is this bad for Donald Trump? Well, Trump was thinking about doing the exact same thing. He wanted to make the exact same arguments to move his case to federal court to try to get it dismissed. And we know that because Trump recently provided notice to the court that he may seek removal of his case to federal court. He wrote, "President Trump," he's Donald Trump, he should not be referring to himself as President Trump, but Donald Trump hereby notifies the court that he may seek removal of his prosecution to federal court under 28 U.S.C. section 1442 and 1455. His written waiver of arraignment was filed on August 31st, yada, 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 the usual procedural things. So, Donald Trump, we had reports that Donald Trump was somewhat waiting for Mark Meadows to see the conclusion of his case and if he's successful. And if he was successful, then he would go for it. But he wasn't. He failed. Mark Meadows failed, right? And so it makes it less likely that Donald Trump is going to try it, although I'm sure he's still going to try to get out of this no matter what. So as it stands right now, it appears that Donald Trump and Mark Meadows and the 18 other defendants are stuck in Fulton County, Georgia. They're stuck there. They're going to have their trial there. They will be judged by a jury of their peers, and that's that. They're going to try all these legal loopholes, but it's not going to work. The law prevails. We've played this game before. We see how slimy these people are. We know what they're going to try to do, and I can assure you that District Attorney Fani Willis is ready for them. She's ready for any of these tactics that they're going to try to prove, and Fani Willis argued this case perfectly, and she got the judgment she wanted. Now, this puts Mark Meadows in a tough spot, right? Because the case against him in Georgia is strong. The case against the other 18 defendants, including Donald Trump, is strong. So what does Meadows do? Does Meadows go to trial? Does he test his luck at a trial of his and be judged by a jury of his peers? Or does Mark Meadows flip? Does Mark Meadows flip on Donald Trump? Because we know that Donald Trump is not loyal to anybody. He will throw anybody under the bus if it benefits him. He's done it to his own kids, right? He's done it to his own family. So Mark Meadows could either flip and cooperate and get a significantly lesser sentence, maybe even charges dropped for his cooperation. Possibly. Or he can go test his luck at trial. Either option is not great for Mark Meadows, but I would encourage him to flip. Do the right thing, Mark. Do what's right for this country and flip on traitor Donald Trump. But he's in a tough spot, and this ruling is bad for all of MAGA, all of these Republicans who are trying to get their case dismissed. And, well, we'll just have to keep watching as to what happens here in Fulton County, Georgia. So anyway, folks, thank you for watching this video today. It's kind of a breaking news video. Let me know if you like it. Let me know if you want more breaking news content like this. Still trying to figure out what I'm doing here on this channel. But anyway, appreciate you guys watching. Make sure to watch another video, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I appreciate you guys. Hope you're healthy, your family's well, all that good stuff. And I'll speak to you guys soon.